Hey everybody, Wayne here. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today I'm going to be making a easy marinara sauce. Only a few ingredients, easy to put together, tastes delicious. Let's get started. To make this marinara sauce, I'm going to start with three 28-ounce cans of Cento San Marzano tomatoes from Italy. Only tomatoes I use are San Marzanos. They're excellent. They're worth the extra money to get. Please do so. Half an onion, 4 cloves of garlic, a couple leaves of chopped basil, and some other seasonings. It's all going to go into the pot over here and simmer together. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil. I have my quarter onion, all in pieces here. I'm going to put that in the olive oil. My 4 cloves of garlic, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are peeled, but I am leaving them whole. And to that, I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon to taste of red pepper flakes. And I give this a stir. Just a little bit. You don't want to burn the garlic, but I want to get some of the flavor in the oil there and get the onions going there. I'm going to take my 3 cans of San Marzano tomatoes. These are whole peeled tomatoes. And I'm going to just put them in there, all 3 of them. Beautiful. Stir that up a little bit. And keep that heat on. Now in mind, this is a tomato basic marinara sauce. It's not a bolognese sauce with meat. I will be adding some homemade meatballs to this in a little bit just to give the meatball some flavor and the sauce a little bit more flavor. And to this I have 2 large fresh basil leaves. I'm just going to put in there. And then I have 3 teaspoons of dried oregano and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. Now to this I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, maybe a teaspoon or 2. Some fresh cracked pepper. I'm going to turn the heat up on this. I want to mix this real well. I want to combine all those seasonings. I'm going to heat this up and bring it to a boil. All right, brought the sauce up to a boil. Stirred it every once in a while. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to put this back on a simmer. Simmer that for about an hour, hour and a half, and we'll be back. All right, this has been simmering for about an hour, hour and a half on the stove. Now, the tomatoes and onions, they've pretty much broken down. I'm just going to use my immersion blender a little bit to smooth it out just a little bit. Not too much, just enough to get it all down. The garlic, the tomatoes, onions. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can use a regular blender, or you don't have to blend it at all. Use a spoon or a fork or something, and that's good. Now, this is going to go back on the stove and simmer. Close that lid. And I'm going to let that simmer on very low for a couple of hours. Then we'll be back. Now, what I do recommend is taste the sauce at this point, because the recommendations I gave you was a starting base, but change it to what you like. I ended up adding more salt, a little more Italian herbs and stuff to it, and it's fantastic. So use my recipe as a starting base. It's really good. Okay, that marinara sauce has been simmering for 3.5 or 4 hours on the stovetop on low. I added the homemade meatballs. Click the link below in the description for the meatball recipe. It's fantastic. Gotta try it. The combination of both of those work great. So I'm gonna give it a shot here. Big bite. That's so good. You've got to try this. It's worth the time. Please like the video if you enjoy this. Subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of other videos and a lot more videos to come. Time for dinner.